Miss Hannah, and today I'm going to be doing the Moonchild book tag, and this was originally created by Crescent Moon Reads. I love all her videos, her channel is great. I'll link her original video for this tag down below, just there. And without further ado, let's get on with the questions. This is really good tea, my mom made it. The first question for Full Moon is a book with supernatural creatures in it, and I just went for the basic answer. I went for The Mortal Instruments by Cassandra Clare. In the Downworld, in this series, there are vampires, werewolves, fairies, and more. A lot of supernatural creatures in all of Cassandra Clare's books. Number 2, Starry Night, is name a book with a beautiful starry cover. I haven't read this book, but just look at how beautiful this cover is. It is so pretty, and I don't know if I will ever read this. It's called These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. I feel like this is one of those books that I would read just because of how pretty the cover is, and it's got loads of stars, so I went with this one, the one that's on the screen right now. Number 3, Out of This World, is favourite sci-fi book, and I haven't really read any sci-fi books, so the one that I'm saying is one of the only sci-fi books I have read, or sci-fi series, and that is The Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. I really enjoyed this series. They are 4 fairy tale retellings. The first one is obviously Cinderella, and it's set way in the future. There's like cyborgs and people living on the moon and mind control. It's all great. Yeah, sci-fi hasn't really drawn me in much, but this series was incredible. Number 4, Creature of the Night, a thriller with a killer. I haven't actually read any thrillers that I know of. I can't think of any, so I'm gonna go with a book that I have been dying to read for so long, and I really want to read around now because of Halloween coming up. I am very excited. Halloween is one of my favourite holidays because autumn is here, and then Christmas, because Christmas is great. Just the atmosphere around Christmas is incredible, but no, stop, it is autumn. Halloween still hasn't happened yet. The book that I went with is Stalking Jack the Ripper by Kerry Maniscalco. It sounds really good. It's historical fiction as well as thriller or horror or whatever you want to call it. It's at the time of Jack the Ripper, and there's this girl who works in a morgue with her dad, and I don't know the exact synopsis, but I know that at the time women weren't really expected to do that kind of stuff. In the morgue, I think, hopefully I'm not making this up, there are victims of Jack the Ripper, and she becomes really intrigued with him and what he does, which makes her sound a bit crazy now that I think of it, but it's about her, I think, just exploring, trying to stalk him. I don't know, but it sounds good anyway. Number 5, The Moon Controls the Tide, is a book that deals with water, whether that's setting or power or anything like that. The book that I chose isn't really, the concept of water isn't anything important at all, but I read this book during summer and I loved it, and they do go on a boat, so I went with The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. Basically, there are 2 boys called Monty and Percy, and they go on an adventure around Europe alongside Monty's little sister Felicity. There's a map. Always good to have a map. Oh, this is upside down. Here, and as you can see, they have to go on a boat, and I really like the scenes when they're on the boat, so I went with this book. Also, I read it whilst I was in Croatia, and I was reading it by the sea, so I connect it with water even more as well. That might be a bit of a stretch, but I'm going with it. Number 6 is Daughters of the Moon, and it is a book that features some serious girl power or friendship, and for this I went with A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J Maas, also A Court of Mist and Fury. Amren and Mor and Feyre are all really powerful, and I really love their friendship, especially Mor and Feyre. They're just really badass. I don't think you can say they're not powerful because damn. Also even Nesta. Nesta is a force to be reckoned with. Number 7, Spaceship, so my OTP. I have way too many OTPs, which doesn't really make sense because it's your one true pairing, but like, come on, we all use that as a loose term. This is one of my favourites, not necessarily the very top, but this is a series that I absolutely love, and I don't think that I mention enough on this channel, so I went with From the Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater, Adam Parrish, and Ronan Lynch. This might be surprising if you didn't watch my The Raven Boys book talk, but Adam really annoyed me during the series. It wasn't to a point where I hated him, he just rubbed at me the wrong way, but him and Ronan have to be one of my favourite things ever. Just so cute. It's absolutely adorable. So The Raven Cycle, specifically the last book by Maggie Stiefvater. Number 8, Waxes and Wanes, a book that played with your emotions, and Empire of Storms by Sarah J Maas. I really do not think that this needs an explanation, like at all. Number Number 9, Music of the Night, a book that has something to do with music. I've only got the second book here, but This Savage Song and Our Dark Duet by V.E. Schwab. This duology is one of my favourite duologies ever. This alongside Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. But this specifically, in this world, there are different kinds of monsters, and one of the main characters, August Flynn, is a monster that uses music to bring people's souls to the surface of their bodies so that he can just touch them and like take their soul away. And they die. That's not all there is to this story. It's quite complex, but it's really worth the read. There are only 2 books, so it's nice and short. There's even a violin on the cover, so that shows that it's something to do with music at least. Number 10, After Hours, a book with the word night in it. This is another book that I have not read. Noticing a trend, that's what the 3rd book that I haven't read in this list. It is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This book I do not know much about, but I remember reading the synopsis a while ago and thinking that I really wanted to read it. So although I haven't read it, it's a book with the word night in it and I want to read it. So The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. My voice is really croaky today. I'm ill. I'm trying to have tea. I'm figuring it out. So good. And last but not least, number 11, Crescent Moon, and that is a book with a goddess or goddesses in it. Here we go again, a series that I have not finished, with books that I haven't read in it. That is the Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan. I read the first 2.5 books of this series before I started to like reading. For me, it was just this one book turned everything around for me, and all of a sudden I loved reading. But this was before that. This was when I didn't read really at all. I did enjoy it. Not liking books, or saying you don't like books, is like one big reading slump, but without the feeling of dread because you're in a reading slump. You get me? You get me. You get me. One part of this series that I do remember really enjoying was the fact that there are Greek gods and goddesses in it. So I think that it fits well enough even if I haven't finished the series. I probably will one day, but I really can't promise anything because I am bad at keeping to my TBRs and bad at reading quick. So yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Before I go, I just wanted to say I'm really annoyed about the fact that I can't upload as much as I did in summer. In summer I uploaded, what, 2, 3, 4 times a week? Now I can only do it about once at a push twice a week because school is getting really stressful. I just started year 10, so we are starting GCSEs now and it's a lot of work. I've had 14 pieces of homework just in this week. And I don't know if that's a lot to you, but it's a lot for me and a lot to keep up with, along with on November 7th, I've got my grade 5 theory and I'm only on the grade 2 book. So I've got a lot of music theory to be getting on with, plus trying to find time to read and trying to find time to film, edit and upload. But I'm trying to keep on top of it. I'm getting at least 1 video a week out to you guys. And yeah, make sure you go check out Rhiannon's video that I will leave in the description down below. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye!